Tomahawk and the Japanese Zero. At the controls of the Zero is none other than the legendary Bud Granley. At the controls of the P-40 Warhawk, or the Tomahawk, is his son, Ross Granley. And what they're going to do is get their aircraft warmed up. They're going to check to make sure the engine is doing exactly what they need it to do. And then they'll be launching out of here in short order to give you a wonderful demonstration of these two truly historic aircraft. And as they're getting ready, just a couple of loving reminders as we get underway with our flying program. And we bring on some tunes from the 1930s, the 40s, and the 50s to kind of set the stage. Just like to remind you to make sure that you stay behind the crowd control fences at all times, as they've been placed there in accordance with FAA regulations and are there for your safety as well as the safety of our performers, and we appreciate your cooperation on that. Also, as you're wandering through the spectator area, we ask that you just keep your head on a swivel, as throughout the entire afternoon we're going to be taxiing aircraft and towing them out into the hot ramp here where they can get started and get ready to fly. So you all want to be just paying attention a little bit as you're wandering through the static display line. Make sure you clear a path so that they can get the aircraft towed through. Also, another loving reminder, please no smoking anywhere near the airport grounds today. As I mentioned all morning long, these aircraft are kept fully fueled, and we don't want to have any unscheduled incidents here at this year's Vintage Aircraft Weekend. Make sure you stay well hydrated and enjoy the flying events. Of course, Mother Nature wasn't exactly cooperating there a little while ago, but now things are clearing up, and we are go for our flying program this afternoon. So I guess I have one question for you folks, and that is this: are you ready for an air show?
Yeah!
I think we can do a little better than that. Are you folks ready for an air show?
Yeah!
Right on. All right, let's go straight to the skies. As you see, Ross Granley in the lead there in the P-40 Tomahawk, and right behind him is his high-speed agility at lower altitude and its ability to take small right turns. Overall, the P-40's excellence lay in its great dependability and its lack of complexity. The Allies' main opponent in the Pacific Air War, the Zero, is the most famous symbol of Japanese air power during World War II. Fighter first flew in April 1939, and Mitsubishi, Nakajima, and Hitachi in the Japanese Navy produced just under 11,000 Zeros from 1940 to 1945. Zeros were produced in greater number than any other aircraft. Its distinctive design and historical impact make the Zero just behind him. Now watch closely the different profiles that each aircraft take in on the takeoff. You'll notice that the Zero will actually Alright, we got the first of our Navions taxiing out, getting ready for their performance today. We're going to get a couple of fly paths of all of these airplanes in the sky together. Looks really cool. And there's, I think it's Dave Desmond in the lead there, waving to us as he taxis by in the lead Navion. He's going to be our lead pilot for this entire flight. So he's going to be handling a lot of the communication between pilots as well as the folks in his formation.
Oh,
So what's happening here is they got to do their engine run-ups. And those of you closest to the hot pit area here, you can see our lead aircraft, Dave Desmond, on the far left. He's looking, and you can hear the engine spooling up. Checking the mags, checking oil temperature, checking oil pressure, checking the electrics, making sure the aircraft is performing exactly what they should be doing. So the first... Well, now that things have quieted down here at the southern end of the field, I can tell you a little bit more about the airplanes. The first four aircraft are the Navions. In the polished Navion, the one in the lead, that is Dave Desmond. In the red, white, and blue Navion in the left wing position, that's Ray Rusi from Vancouver, British Columbia. And the blue, very blue Navion on the right wing of Dave Desmond is Willie Patterson from Nanaimo, British Columbia. The white-blue Navion that is on the right side of the CJ6 there, the second group of aircraft, that is flown by Kent Johnson of Puyallup, Washington. In the red CJ6 is Tom Elliott from Sandy Valley, Nevada. And we were supposed to have, oh, there it is. There's the light green CJ. That's Mo Jones from Bayview, Washington. Actually, that's the dark green one. So we're going to call him Justin Drafts from Everett, Washington. Good to get the record corrected here. And the Navions are on the roll. J6. Well, right. Tom Elliott, as I mentioned, and right behind him is Justin Draft from Everett, Washington. And in behind is the Baby Trojan. Don't tell the pilot that I said that, but this is the original A model of the Trojan, with a 600 horsepower engine and the Neo. And that's why I try very hard not to say too much when they're flying past, because we want you to listen to the music in the skies. So I've been telling you about the Navion. That's the L-17 Navion, the first of our monoplanes, the Navions. CJ. Well, folks, coming in from the right is our biplane flight. 3 Stearmans just overhead.
Wow. Where'd they come from?
The Stearman Model 75 is a biplane used as a military trainer aircraft, of which at least 8,500 fertilizer fitted in place of the front cockpit. Additional equipment included pumps, spray bars, and nozzles mounted below the lower wings. Modeler-approved modification to increase the maximum takeoff weight and climb performance involved fitting a larger Pratt & Whitney R9085 engine and a constant speed propeller. The first flight past, we saw a formation known as the fingertip formation, and this time they've set up for what we call right echelon. You have the lead aircraft and then the rest of the airplane stacked down and aft towards the right to make up the right echelon formation. It's a good photo opportunity of our biplane flight today. steerman could carry 2 people, the student and the instructor. It's just under 25 feet long with a wingspan of just over 32 feet and stands off the ground at just under 10 feet. Power plant was a Continental R670 7-cylinder air-cooled radial engine generating 220 horsepower, giving the steerman a maximum. So just taxiing out here, we have a P-51D Mustang known as a Valhalla. In behind is the very rare P-51B Mustang, nicknamed Impatient Virgin. And then in behind we have Fragile but Agile, another P-51D Mustang. And here we go with the engine run-up. Followed by John Sessions in the P-51B model. And bringing up the rear is Greg Enders in Fragile but Agile. Lining up for their takeoff. We'll get a few fly paths of these incredible airplanes. And I will tell you a little bit more about these aircraft and the distinctive differences between the D model and the B model in just a few moments here. Because first I want you to hear what these Rolls-Royce Merlin engines sound like when they're galloping at full speed to get these incredible airplanes into the air. Here we go. Nothing for this. What these two airplanes are powered by. P-51 cost approximately $40,000 to produce originally, and many of these restored aircraft now cost anywhere between $1.5 to $2 million. Here they come in from the right. to ceiling, being raised by 10 aircraft before crashing in England in 1945, ending its fighting career. The wreckage decayed over many years in the farmer's field where it crashed. Took over 3 years waiting for crop harvesting to fully excavate the aircraft in 2005. And after a full restoration, it arrived in Heritage Flight Foundation in 2008. It arrived at the Historic Flight Foundation in 2008. And that same year, it won the Best P-51 at the EAA Oshkosh and People's Choice Award at the Rolls-Royce Heritage. Los Angeles, California to Daytona Beach, Florida in a whopping 5 hours and 20 minutes. 16,776 Mustangs were produced, with only a handful of approximately 165 remaining today. Here they come again. Once again from the right, our P-51D Mustang and the P-51B on the right wing. Passes. Valhalla in the lead. John Sessions in the P-51B. Today, of course, safety is always number one when it comes to these kind of demonstrations. So as soon as we have the opportunity, we'll get a tow truck over there. Well, not a tow truck, a tow tug anyway, to tow the aircraft back in and have the mechanics take a look at it and hopefully get Fragile but Agile back in the skies very shortly. Real short final, just touching down on runway 3, following a wonderful demonstration in that P-51D model. And in behind John Sessions in the P-51B Impatient Virgin. Also a very nice landing by John Sessions in the B model. You can hear the very distinctive pop-pop as the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine comes to an idle. We've got a stagger wing in there, as well as a Waco UPF-7. Not a Waco, not a Waco. A Waco UPF-7. Waco is a place in Texas, and a Waco is a crazy person. So it's actually called Waco. Display air back into the static line so you can get a good look at these truly historic team of the country. Still more air show flying to happen here as we get the Texans ready to go. We've got Fragile but Agile under the full power, so we got that back. But again, having some cooling issues with the big engine up front, so rather than fly, we decided to call it a day, and we'll lift up the cowls there. Propping his aircraft, they're running the prop through. That's to ensure that all the cylinders are well oiled before he starts the engine. Well, in this case, one engine. There are only single engine aircraft. Well, we've got the blue Texan, we've got a silver Texan, and the yellow aircraft is actually a Harvard Mark IV. And that's because it served in the Canadian military. And waving to us is Bill Finley, who's going to be flying that particular aircraft. Here in the States, the Texan, of course, was known as the T6 or the SNJ if it served under Navy colors. And in Canada, we... We have the run-up complete for our Texan flight, and in moments they are going to be taking to the skies, and what they're going to be doing is flying out of Payne Field and heading down to Lake Washington, where they're going to fly one lap of the race course there for the hydroplane races in tribute to Myra Slovak, famous aviator as well as a championship hydroplane racer. And as soon as the Texans have become airborne, I'm going to read to you excerpts from the obituaries of Myra Slovak from both the Los Angeles Times, written by Steve Chalkins, and the New York Times, written by William Yardley. This weekend is in dedication to Myra Slovak, who flew air shows, raced hydroplanes, and defected from Czechoslovakia back in Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here is a tribute to Myra Slovak, who died on June of this year. Born on October 25th, 1929 in Czechoslovakia, Myra Slovak was the son of a grain merchant. During Nazi occupation in World War II, his family hid two Jewish families in their farmhouse basement, according to David Williams, who is writing a Slovak biography. When he was 17, Slovak became a Czech airman. He rose quickly, especially after a Soviet purge of the Czech military in the late 1940s. By the time he was 21, he was a captain assigned. 17, he joined the Czechoslovak Air Force shortly after World War II. When he was 17 and flew bombers at 19, he was promoted to captain at 21, in part because the new communist government was replacing officers who had been aligned with Allied forces during the war. By the time he was 21, he was piloting commercial flights for Czechoslovak Airlines. During his time with the Czechoslovak Air Force, he flew Me-109s, HE-11s, and the Junkers 52. In 1968, he installed an engine from a Volkswagen Beetle into a glider and flew it more than 8,000 miles from West Germany to California. He crashed 19 feet from the runway at his final destination in Santa Pola. He spent several days in a coma. But of course, he came back and flew a number of air shows in his Bucher Jungmann biplane. One of his distinctive maneuvers was flying upside down along the shoreline with his hands flying in the air. Here comes Carter Teeters in the Bearcat, the F-8F Bearcat. This airplane also has tell me that he wasn't the first to cross the finish line, but he won on points, a system that was later abolished. In 1959, Myra Slovak went to work for Continental Airlines as a pilot. He settled down, relatively speaking, performing only the occasional stunt in a biplane. Flying under bridges, upside down, and arms overhead was how he relaxed. His daring feats earned him the nickname the Flying Czech. Myra Slovak died on June 16 at his home in Fallbrook, California, at the tender age of 84. Once again, he was a hydroplane racing champion, a stunt flyer, an airline pilot, and a man who had an incredible story to tell. And we're going to take a look now at that F-8F Bearcat with Carter Teeters at the controls. Here comes a blistering high-speed pass in from the right. A good topside pass. Infamous Japanese Zero and defend Navy fleets against incoming kamikaze attacks. The Grumman Bearcat was among the last piston engine flyers built specifically for World War II. From the left, another high-speed pass in the Bearcat. You can see just in those last couple of passes how fast the Bearcat can actually that can stop their play by night. A bunch of high-speed passes by the Bearcat. Now you're going to get a look at the slow handling capability of the Bearcat with Carter Teeters at the controls. So I'm doing a bunch of wing vitals out there to help up lead off some altitude as well as airspeed. Here he is, the F-8F Bearcat. Sound that separates all of our World War II aircraft. I think Carter is having a heck of a lot of fun out there this afternoon as he comes in for another pass from the right. Yanking and banking up there, you can see the incredible maneuverability of the Grumman Bearcat. captured yet of the Bearcat. You've got one more opportunity here. As he's setting up for yet. Here we go, final pass of the Bearcat. Coming in from the right. Now what he's going to do is climb for some altitude, just over 2,000 feet, and he's going to hold what we call a cap over the airfield. As we're now looking for our tech. That the plan is going to be a formation pass in diamond, and then they're going to set up for the missing man formation as a salute to Myers Slovak. And if you look off to our left and high above us, we have a beaver transiting the zone. Classic de Havilland design on floats. I think Carter Teeters is keeping a Other nicknames for the Texan was Pilot Maker or Old Growler here in the United States, the Window Breaker in the United Kingdom, or the Mosquito during the Korean conflict, or also as the Jaybird in the Navy. Here they come in diamond, the T6 Texan flight. Propellers reaching the speed of sound. You're actually hearing miniature sonic booms here this afternoon. Spinning those propellers out there is the 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R1340 Wasp radio air-cooled engine. These aircraft weigh about 2 tons empty, or about 4,000 pounds, with a maximum takeoff weight of 5,300 pounds. Maximum speed of the Texan or the Harvard is 205 miles per hour with a service ceiling